Let me tell you that what I'm going to talk about the next 45 minutes is drawn in large part from my experiences in reconstructing the Mars program, and I put together a much more lengthy story about what I did in this book that was published recently. So if you want to read the whole story, you can go to Amazon, and this is even available on Kindle now if you want to download it. The other thing I will very briefly mention is my engagement in what's now called New Space, or the entrepreneurial space sector. And I was convinced to be editor-in-chief of a new journal that appeared about a year and a half ago. This is our current issue. Has in it a roundtable discussion about going to Mars that includes people from Inspiration Mars, from Mars One, Bas Lansdorp, as well as Bill Nye the Science Guy, representing the Planetary Society. So if you get to your library and can get this journal, I think you will have a view of what's happening with things like SpaceX and other new companies. Okay, let's focus on exploring Mars and the simple phrase that we came up with to explain what we have been doing the last decade, called follow the water. And to understand this, we need to look at two aspects of the program. First of all, why Mars in the first place? Why do we care about Mars? Most of you probably know it's the most Earth-like of the other planets in the solar system, and it is the one which scientists believe most likely had life emerge. So if you address a very big question, like are we alone in the universe, looking at Mars, searching for the fingerprints of life, is a very, very powerful reason to understand the red planet. And now, why water? Well, because liquid water is a necessary ingredient for all life as we know it. I mean, there could be life as we don't know it, and people have thought about that for science fiction movies like and series like Star Trek. But as far as science is concerned today, water is a common thread to understand how planets form, and particularly whether life could have formed or not. And in the future, at the very end of the talk, I will address the issue of human exploration. Water, of course, would be a key ingredient for making that possible. Just a little bit of numbers. Mars is hard. As a world, we have been trying to get to the red planet for more than 50 years, and most of those attempts have failed. So when I took over the task of restructuring the NASA, the United States Mars program, in 2000, there had been 34 attempts to get to Mars, starting in 1960. 12 of those, by my assessment, could be called at least partially successful. In other words, a few data bites, a few pictures. But only 6 of those missions had really been fully successful, that is to say, meeting their requirements. Today, we've had the success of Mars Odyssey, the twin rovers Spirit and Opportunity, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the European mission Mars Express, Phoenix, and of course the landing of the Mars Science Lab, or Curiosity, 2 years ago. The Phobos Grunt mission unfortunately failed about 3 years ago in late 2011. So today, we've had 44 missions, 12 partially successful, but now 13 fully successful. But still, if you look back over the last 50 years, it means the odds of a fully successful Mars mission are about 1 in 3. So it is not an easy thing to do. There are 2 missions you should watch for coming very soon. The NASA mission called Maven and the mission from India called MOM will arrive on September 22nd and 24th respectively. And if both of those are successful, that means that we are doing as a world very, very well on understanding the red planet. So let's talk about following the water, and let's talk about how the scientific community in the world have viewed Mars and its water content. If you go back to the late 19th century, there was an Italian astronomer named Schiaparelli, as well as